Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. $8,000 worth of Chinese jade has been stolen. The criminal is vicious. His weapon, a handful of buckshot in a handkerchief. Your job, get him.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of long cigarettes. Smoke Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima is doubling and redoubling its smokers. So, if you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, December 1st. It was foggy in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Ed Backstrand, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 7:15 p.m. when we got to the police academy, the banquet room.
Where do we sit, Joe?
Well, Lee Jones is holding a couple seats for us someplace. You see him?
Oh, yeah. There he is up there.
Well, look at him. But he's here.
Yeah, ought to be.
Hi, fellas. A couple of ringside seats.
Thanks, Lee.
Did you get it?
Yeah, right here.
Mind if I take a look at it?
No, go ahead.
How come it didn't get wrapped as a gift?
No time.
A gift box would have been nice. No cotton, even? Beautiful watch. Radium dial?
Yeah.
Universal Geneva. Fine movement. He'll like it.
Look on the back.
Let's see. For Chief Ed Backstrand, a good cop, Detective Bureau. Not very good engraving.
No time.
I didn't think the old man really meant it.
26 years. You get tired after 26 years.
You've been at it 25, Lee.
Oh, don't look at me like that. I got a book to finish. 23 chapters.
How many chapters you got, Fanny?
2.
How long you been writing it?
2 years.
Well, at that rate, we'll be stuck with you for another 21 years.
If you're lucky. Excuse me, fellas. Gotta make a speech.
All right, Lee.
To get the proceedings underway here, before we introduce the man of the hour, I'd like to pass along a little story you might get a kick out of. I was driving down from Utah last year, stopped off at a hotel in Elko, Nevada. When I went up to register for my room, there was an Indian ahead of me. The clerk asked this Indian fella to sign his name, and the clerk handed him a pen. The Indian made an X on the book. The clerk looked at him for a minute and said, "Say, aren't you Chief Deerskin? Haven't I seen you in the movies?" The Indian nodded his head and looked a little upset. "Oh," he said. "Oh, we make a lot of movies in Hollywood." The clerk smiled and said, "A lot of people in Elko here like to get your autograph, Chief." Then the Indian grabbed the pen up again and he said, "Me no like a autograph, hunters. Me no want to be bothered." Then he drew a circle around the X he made. The clerk said, "Why you do that, Chief?" The Indian said, "Me no use him right name."
Oh, hey, Joe. Yeah, there's Rogers over there. He's motioning to
Where?
her.
Oh, yeah, excuse me a minute, Ben.
The chief who's retiring tonight. He's been using his right name for 26 years, and he's proud of it. And we're proud to have been associated.
Do you want me, Rogers?
I phoned for you, Joe. You can take it on the extension
After
outside.
26
Thanks, Pete.
years of service, he's retiring from the Los Angeles Police Department. We're going to miss him. Gentlemen, a fine officer, Chief Ed Backstrand.
Where's the phone?
Right over here.
Thanks. Friday.
Joe, this is Gonzalez.
Yeah, Jess.
Sorry to bother you, but Powers said I should call you.
Yeah?
I need some lift work.
Something big?
Pretty big, yeah. Too many loose ends. Pena and I can't pull them all in.
When do you want us?
As soon as you can get down here.
That important, huh?
A man may die, Joe.
Hi, Jess. Got here as soon as we could.
Sorry to pull you away. Hello, Romero.
Gonzalez, what's up?
Come on in here.
All right.
Here's a report. Not complete yet.
Mm-hmm.
Chinese fella. Name's George Kwan. He's a jeweler, gem cutter.
Yeah.
Jade expert. Knows as much about jade as anybody on the coast.
Uh-huh. Says it happened at 5:30 today on Alvarado near the park.
They weren't kidding, were they? They almost killed him.
Yeah. Any idea what the weapon was, Jess?
I'm not sure. Looks like some sort of blackjack, something homemade.
Yeah.
When they picked up Kwan, they found several buckshot pellets lying around and a man's handkerchief. Ray Pinker has the stuff over at the crime lab now.
Where's Quan? Have you talked to him?
Got in a couple of questions down at Georgia Street while the doc was giving him sedatives. Little guy's a mess, Joe.
Gonna be all right?
50-50 chance when I called you out of the academy.
Well, why did they beat him? Did he resist?
I don't have it all yet, but from what he said, he was jumped from behind, didn't have a chance to fight. Whoever it was kept beating him long after he was unconscious.
What'd they take him for?
A couple of pieces of jade, large ones, very rare.
Mm-hmm. You got anything else?
Yeah, we got a star witness, just one.
Did you talk to him yet?
Just did for an hour and a half. You want to crack at her?
Are you having trouble with him?
Yeah, little. All right, Pena. Send him in again.
Yes, sir. You want to talk some more?
6 years old, Joe.
His name was Norman Eugene Fisher, and he was 6 years of age last April. Like all young boys his age, his imagination ran away with him. What would be only a minor detail to an adult witness assumed tremendous proportion to Norman's young mind. He told us his story 3 times. Each time he elaborated a little more until what he claimed was the truth could only have been figments of a small child's imagination. Ben and I, together with Gonzalez and Pena, talked with the boy for another hour. We were getting tired, but Norman enjoyed his position as star witness.
Once more, Norman, please, try to remember it as it really happened.
It was just like I said.
Let me try, Jess.
Go ahead, Romero.
You did see it happen this afternoon, didn't you, Norman?
Yes, sir, I did.
Good. Now, you were on your way home from the store.
Oh, no, sir. I was running away from a man. He was chasing me.
But you just told us, Norman, that you were on your way home from the store.
Oh, no, sir. That was yesterday.
But you told us.
Just a minute, Ben. Norman, how old are you?
Next year, I'm going to be 21.
No, that's not right. 21, that's older than I am.
Well, when I am 21, I'm going to get a hot rod. Fastest car in the world. 10,000 miles an hour.
Sure you will, but how old are you now?
6, but I'm going to be 21 soon.
I remember when I was 6 years old, Norman. A lot of things I wanted. Electric train.
I got one.
Well, it must be something you'd like to have. One thing that maybe now that you don't have, huh?
Will you give it to me?
Well, if I can. What do you want?
I'd like your gun.
Well, what do you want a gun for?
I want to put people in jail like you guys do.
Sometimes it takes more than a gun, Norman.
What do you mean?
Just because you've got a gun doesn't mean you're a cop.
Well, what does?
Just a minute, son. Here you go, Norman. A good cop uses this more than a gun.
Gee.
It's a real police badge. It's mine.
Official?
Official.
Can I hold it?
Go ahead. It's yours.
When I wear this, I'm a real detective.
Well, that's part of it. The other part is to tell us what you really saw today. Now, how about it, huh?
There were 4 men, like I said, and they all had machine guns.
Now, wait a minute, Norman. I thought you said you were a detective now.
I am.
Well, a good detective has to remember exactly what he sees, not something he makes up.
It's not very scary that way.
No, it's no use, Joe. He can't get his story straight.
Oh, yes, I can. I'm a detective now, and I know what happened.
All right, Norman, you tell us, huh?
I was on my way home from the store. I saw this truck stop down the street.
What did the truck look like?
I don't know. It was a funny kind of truck. Had a wood back.
You mean like a dump truck?
Kind of, but it was a small truck. Old kind of car, like he took out the back part and put wood boards like a truck.
You mean whoever owned the truck cut the back end out and made it look like a truck, huh?
Yeah, that's the way it looked. Anyway, this truck stopped by this Chinese man, and the man got out, and the man started to hit this man. And the man fell on the sidewalk, and the man kept hitting him and hitting him as hard as anything.
Well, what was he hitting him with?
With his handkerchief?
There he goes again.
No, I don't know. How about that, Jess?
Good tie-in.
Go on, Norman.
Well, that's all I saw.
No, I mean after the man hit him, what'd he do?
Oh, well, he grabbed a bunch of stuff from this man's pocket, and he went into the truck and he speeded away.
Norman, you're a good detective. I want you to think real hard now. Do you know what a license number is?
Yeah.
Good. Do you think you could remember the numbers on that truck?
If I knew what they were, I could. In school, we're just having numbers now. I only know up to 7, but there were 2 7s in it.
You getting all this, Jess?
Yeah, keep going.
Norman, you've helped us a lot. Can you remember what the man on the truck looked like?
He had a big head and he looked mean.
All right, just one more thing now. Can you remember the color of that truck?
It looked black, but the back part had black and white stripes.
I don't know how you did it, Joe.
Well, what do you think?
How about? Me too.
All right, Norman. Your mother's waiting outside for you. You can go home now. You're a real detective.
Can I wear my badge now?
You bet you can.
Okay. Say,
Yes, sir?
as soon as I arrest somebody, will you put him in jail?
With the help of an outdated police badge, no longer official, we had the statement of a 6-year-old boy with a healthy imagination. We had an idea he was telling us the truth, but we had no way of being certain. Since he was the only witness, we had to accept his word and hope that he was putting us on the right track. The quickest way to make sure was to see if some of the details in little Norman Fisher's story would check out. Jess Gonzalez and Manuel Pena took the job of trying to locate a homemade pickup truck with 2 7s in the license number. They started by checking all the late 3.8 forms, the vehicle theft and impound reports. The next morning, Ben and I called the General Hospital and talked with Dr. Sebastian. He told us that the victim, George Kwan, had improved sufficiently to allow a brief interview. It was 10:14 a.m. when we got to Ward C, General Hospital.
Doctor tells you a little better this morning, Mr. Kwan.
Yes, sir. I shall be all right, although it is quite painful at times.
We're sorry to bother you, Mr. Kwan, but we've got to have a little more information on the robbery.
Oh, I will tell you all I can, sir. I should like to recover the missing jade pieces. It is a great loss to me.
Did you get any kind of a look at the man who hit you?
Oh, he attacked me from behind, knocked me to the pavement. I made an attempt to get to my feet, but he struck me again and again, here at the base of my neck.
You didn't see him at all, then?
No, sir, I did not.
Do you have any idea who could have done this?
Unfortunately, no. I cannot think of anyone.
What was stolen from you? We know it was jade, but can you give us a more detailed description?
Well, sir, I lost 2 thumb rings, very rare, collector's items.
Thumb rings? How much were they worth, would you say?
Well, I paid $8,000 for the 2 rings.
Wonder if you could describe them to us.
Well, both rings were relics of the time when the Chinese archer drew his hunting bow with a special thumb ring.
Uh-huh. Any particular identifying marks on them?
Oh, they both have linings of fine gold to fit them to the fingers of the new owners.
Who were the new owners?
I had just purchased them yesterday before I was robbed. I was on my way to San Francisco to show them to prospective buyers.
Who did you buy the rings from, Mr. Kwan?
Mrs. Inez Curtis, a very reputable dealer. We have done business for many years.
I wonder if we could have her business address, huh?
She has her office at her home. It is 1957 Harper Annex off Sunset Boulevard in Beverly Hills.
How many people knew that you had the jade on you at that particular time yesterday?
Oh, let me see. There were only 2 other buyers present beside Mrs. Curtis. I do not recall their names. They were new to me. Mrs. Curtis would know.
Mr. Kwan, we know that you're tired. We have just one more question.
Certainly. I wonder if I might trouble you to hand me that tumbler of water with the glass straw.
Surely. Here you are.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now, those thumb rings, Mr. Kwan, would there be any practical disposition of them other than selling them as they are?
Well, hardly, Sergeant. To anyone who really knows the value of jade, it would be unheard of to change them in any way.
I see. Well, thank you, Mr. Kwan. We'll do our best.
You know, Sergeant, we Chinese place a great sentimental value on our jade.
We'll do everything we can to recover it.
Thank you. May I tell you my favorite quotation on jade?
Yes, sir.
It is from the writings of Tong Jung Tso. He wrote, "The magic powers of heaven and earth always combine to form perfect result. So the pure essences of hill and water become solidified in precious jade.
Ben and I drove out to 1957 Harper Annex, the residence of Mrs. Inez Curtis. There was no one at home. We left one of our cars. It was 12:22 p.m. when we got back to Central Division.
Here's a phone message for you, Joe.
What's it say?
Call Jess Gonzalez. He's out the Wilshire Division.
Okay, thanks, Ben.
Wilshire Detectives, Dillian.
Hi, Harry. Gonzalez around?
Just a minute. Take on 3, Jess.
Gonzalez,
Friday, Jess.
we got the truck and we got the driver.
We'll be right out.
Something else, Joe.
Yeah?
The kid was right. There were 2 7s in the license number.
You are listening to Dragnet for the solution to an actual case from official police files. Now, here is a real solution to many of your Christmas shopping problems.
If your friends smoke a long cigarette, give the best of long cigarettes, Fatima.
Give Fatima for quality.
The name Fatima has always stood for the best in cigarette quality.
Give Fatima for flavor.
Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Give Fatima. They're extra mild.
Yes, Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos blended to make Fatima extra mild. Yes, extra mild.
So give Fatima for Christmas in the attractive golden yellow carton.
It's the long cigarette that has doubled and redoubled its smokers. More and more smokers every day agree Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Wilbur Rasmussen, white, male American, age 31, 5 feet 10 inches, 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was the driver of the truck. Gonzalez and Pena began by checking through all of the reports of trucks impounded during the past 24 hours. There were 23. Out of those 23, they narrowed it down to 4 possibilities. The third vehicle that they checked fitted the young witness's description of the holdup truck. We still could not be absolutely certain that the impounded truck was the one we were looking for. The same could be said of the driver, Wilbur Rasmussen. The net result of checking impound reports doesn't always result in the apprehension of a suspect, but in this case we were lucky. The driver had been picked up for drunk driving. It was 1:30 p.m. when we checked in at the Wilshire Division.
Hi, Jess. Where is he?
You're a little late.
What do you mean?
He's gone, released on bail.
Who furnished the bail?
The woman he works for, Mrs. Inez Curtis.
Well, that doesn't figure, Jess, or does it?
Why not? How many people knew Quan had the Jade?
That's not my guess. Quan vouches for her. He's been doing business with her for years.
What do you think, Joe?
It's your show. I'm just tagging along.
Well, one thing's sure. Just a minute. Wilshire Detectives, Gonzalez. Oh, yeah, Pena. He did? No, meet me back here. Friday and Romero are here.